मेला दिलों का आता है एक बार आके चला जाता है मेला दिलों का आता है एक बार आके चला जाता है मेला दिलों का
Yes, that was music from India. India, the home, Raigara, India. That was quite a pleasant voice, at least. I have no clue what it was, what the message was, but maybe it was very important because when we sit down and talk, generally, we want it to be very important. And today, we have no clue whether it's important what we do or not. If what I do is important for anyone but me. And sometimes I get to wonder if it's important for me too, if what I do is important for me. So sometimes we are just in that kind of state that we don't really know. Maybe our day wasn't that good or started good. Maybe some days are not that good at all. And to have so much resistance as I have been talking about, it may take a toll on the system. To have some certain ideas, some certain approaches to what resistance is. And I think lately I have been touching on something that is rather important in some context. When I write on some group, I tend to say that this is let me write it down before I forget it. Is it important or not? That is the question. Sometimes when I write on these groups and the heat is high, because sometimes people react to what I'm saying. It had always been that way in my regard, that people doesn't really, maybe I say it in a way that turns to be a little bit provocating in a way, because I say it not so clear, so it sounds opinionated and stubborn, quarrelsome, and that I'm easily to be disputed as someone that isn't serious. You see, maybe it is so. Sometimes it is how people say it is, sometimes it's not. And to be too much in of it, that kind of topic of issues and what to say, maybe it is good to cool down sometimes. Not to say so much, not to expose so much, and not to act serious all the time. I got that I get that every so often, because I think I need this relief. Get out of it. Get some new information, so I keep myself informed, maybe on topics that is not necessarily mainstream. I watch sports like football, Real Madrid, and I like those players because they are skilled. They know how to send the ball. And when I see other football matches, I tend to compare them with the best. And my feeling that this is not really that good. Those players aren't doing their best. So it is not that entertaining. And we always do this comparison to other people. We compare ourselves to other people and find ourselves not that important. So is it, or am I important? I think to talk about that kind of subject, we need to separate I and the topic I'm talking about. Because I am the conveyor of a topic, as people in, you can see back in those biblical times, they were conveyors of certain messages that was conveyed. And also in modern times, when Einstein and Niels Bohr and all those scientists that are well known for their findings, their enlightenment, seems to be important for some people, but not for everyone. Until it becomes relevant to you, to me. So what they found in the pyramids, in the hieroglyphs, I talked with my friend the other day that, have you read the hieroglyphs? Because it tells a story. It is written, it's inscribed to be preserved for many, many years. And those pictures, pentagrams and everything on the pyramids, and not only pyramids, but petroglyphs that are engraved with this kind of writing, this kind of figures. Was it important back then? Maybe people deemed them as non-importance. And you have this religious approach today that try to deem things as lies. Everything that is not from the Bible is a lie. And I myself, I try to portray the leftists as the liars. Not the leftists per se, but those in media. I think media is a tool for lies. And news, topics, subjects are exposed in a way that seemingly is very important to the highest degree of importance. So, what really is important? And I think when we can't separate the messenger and the message, I think we are confused. And many times I'm confused too, because I regard myself as non-important. Only my deeds is important. My deeds that can be separated from me. And I think it is important that we regard each other for valued, not because of all our deeds, which many are limited to do. Even they can't speak, they are muted, they are handicapped, they are crippled in many, many ways, so they exist just as an individual. Many people are like that, and the society, I think what I am sensing here is what the society regard as what is valued or not. Because the society tend to value what you can bring to the society, not what the society can bring you. And it is polar opposite with those that are crippled, that they are less value in a way. And how come that can be? I think if we get those that are crippled in many, many degrees, let them say what the society should focus on. I said to the community I was part of that the most scared, the most silent, the most the one that is less listened to, and you know that every time he or she is asked, what is your opinion? They look scared around and afraid. They are afraid to step on anyone's foot. And maybe that is mirroring. That is some kind of a wisdom in itself. That we should be more afraid to step on anyone's foot. Even how we are regarded. Even how we are portrayed. We shouldn't be indifferent with each other. We should regard each other as important, but not me. I don't really mean it to the letters I use, but I should regard others more important than myself. And it is a biblical term which the religious people haven't really fathomed. I think the religious people look at themselves to be the most important beings, because they have the right belief, they have the right message, they are the right conveyors of the message. And I think that is a misunderstood concept. Everyone should have this approach that everyone else is a little bit more important than me. when you ask around, you should pay more attention to what they say. Then you want them to listen to you. It is a good way to handle interruptions, accusations, disagreements. If a father could regard his children as a little bit more important than himself, someone that he should handle with care, love and care, listen keenly. What is wrong, my child? How are you today? What is up? What is your thoughts of today? Regard the child as someone that can tell me something important. That every word that a child can say will have a deep impact on the parents. I don't talk for mothers because they are profoundly real. But I can talk for fathers because I am a father myself. I have not been paying attention. I have disregarded, disrespected, and even though I didn't want to disrespect, even though I didn't want disregard, but you are doomed, you are destined to do it. You are destined to disregard. Yes, because I'm a human. Not because that I'm a human per se, but it's just a corrective instrument. Children, everyone else, should be my corrective instrument to be a better person. So really, is it important or not? Is it real or not? People are bewildered today. People are confused today. People are searching all over today for the important stuff that they may have just a sense of feeling that maybe other things is more important than what I can convey. I was brought up in environment that everything I said was not important. Everything I viewed, expressed how I viewed it, was not important, was not interesting enough for them, was not relevant in any case. So when you are brought up in a toxic environment that really doesn't listen to you, you begin to doubt yourself in a profound way. Later on, my dad asked, "What is your opinion, Ole?" Even my mother asked, "What is your opinion?" They started valuing my approach. I was asked, because we have a party here, that mainly the elders will tend to vote on. It's against... let me put it right so I can... write it, say it right. Immigrants, if they were against immigrants from a foreign country, they don't believe in immigrants, yet they were missionaries. I told them, you will vote for a party that is so against immigrants and so sectarian in many ways. The Norwegian are best, and it was a scaremongering party. In many cases, one could agree with that party. Let me see if I can Google Translate. The Progressive Party. It was the Progressive Party, but it was just appealing to people's prejudice. And that was not a good sign for me, my parents voting on that party. So I said, when I was asked, Ole, what do you think about Progressive Party? We call it Fremskrittspartiet, it's progressive. That is the translation. I said that you have been voting for the Christian People Party, and you are Christians. I reason with them that they have values that you may see more when you study them more. You will see that the Christian Republic, the Christian People's Party, is more to your values, your own values, than this Progressive Party that excludes. And what is good about the exclusion of those that really need help? Shouldn't we be Christians? Haven't you gone to Kenya and been trying to help people there? So what is your issue? Are you so disappointed? And we went a little bit to and fro, and I think they really asked because they wanted to see what I was voting. And I told them straight out, I'm voting for the Christian Party because they have values that I can consent with. I don't give anything for those politicians because they are corrupt. They are corrupt anyway. But to uphold Christian values in Norway. And what is important? Is it the politicians or is it the parties? The people, the leaders of those parties. What is important? And I found out that even if I vote with I don't give any person my vote. I only give the party my vote. That is, for me, the message is important. But I was I was a little bit into those that are crippled. And I think that you didn't get any sufficient answer for how they should be valued. I think it is indicators, the crippled, those that are handicapped, that can't stand up for themselves, should be an indicator on the nation, the conscience of the nation. And why am I putting in here political things? Yes, because it is conserving, it is preserving the values of the country in practical acts, practical deeds. The hospitals, the schools, the health care, and people in general should have some values, not necessarily Christian values if you don't want to hear about that, but everyone can consent to people taking care of each other. And here in Norway we have this system that everybody pays taxes. And if you are smart, you can cheat yourself out of that. But everyone is obligated, if you receive salary, payment of any sort, you contribute to the bigger society, the society that keeps you, protects you, and give your help. That is our system. And what is important? I think those issues that can mean something for people that are crippled, that we are even more paying attention to how the system works. They are important because we want the system to be as good as possible, and that they can either directly or indirectly contribute according to their way of giving feedback. As I exemplary said about, if you ask some of those that are muted, crippled, or scared of saying something wrong, yes, by their acts, you will understand that something is really wrong. They are afraid to abuse, to misuse, and do anything that can harm anyone, even either physically or mentally. So I think the system that we all try to refine, being a better system, everybody that can contribute to something bigger than me, so that I end up not as important as you. I should be a little bit less important in my own regard. I should have you more in my mind than myself. I think that is a system that can work ideally and for the betterment of humankind. If we could think more to contribute better to everyone else, and the system will be sufficient. I will also be regarded as more important than someone in their eyes. Okay, this was this, and resistance is good.